you mentioned something about training, and
Yep.
maybe talk a little bit about that. What are the gaps that you're seeing with training, and how do those gaps get closed?
As a foundation first, you need capable hardware. And that capability is a hard to define thing. But having it be good force control and back drivable so you have compliant interaction with the world is kind of really important, and traditionally not how robots operate. We're starting to see a few groups able to do that. Agility is one of them. We're seeing some pretty good behavior from Unitree. When you see really dynamic behavior from a robot, you know that the hardware is actually physically capable of it. With a lot of other groups where you don't see that, you can't tell if it's the hardware is limiting it, or if their AI is not very good, or you don't know what. But for a lot of them, it really is just fundamentally limited by the hardware. It doesn't matter what AI they have. So that's one foundation, is able-bodied hardware. The next layer up from that is control layers. And that is not data-driven. Like a large language model, you have the whole internet of data to train on, right? For controlling a particular robot, there is no source of data. There's no example anywhere of what's the right set of motor torques for a set of sensor inputs on that robot, right? So it's necessary to explore it yourself, to discover the right solutions. And for that, a really good tool is reinforcement learning and simulation for a model of your specific robot. And then, a variety of techniques allow you to transfer from the simulation to the real robot. And that allows you to do the walking behaviors and start to do some whole body control behaviors, and even some basic grasps, as long as you are identifying the specific behaviors you're going to achieve. So a lot of the dance moves that you see from robots, it's this kind of approach, reinforcement learning around, in this case, like a trajectory or motion capture that they give it. But to stabilize the robot has to be reinforcement learning. And ours has a whole body control where we've given it all the possible end effector positions and forces. And now the whole body controller, which is learned in simulation, takes care of all of the hard parts, balancing the robot, where to feed, etc. And you can just tell it where to put the arms and the hands. The next layer up is kind of learning by demonstration. And I would say this is a thing where I don't really think the world yet has a great solution for this. How do you teach it to do something like you know how to open a door? How do you easily show a robot how it should open the door? And then that's a skill that it learns and refines through its own practice and exploration. We have some examples of this. People are working on it hard. Some of these approaches are very, very data intensive, 10,000 hours of practice to get it to fold laundry, something like that. But then as soon as you move a camera or change one thing about the scenario, it all breaks. So they're very brittle. And they also can't deal with forces and weights, and it's all lightweight stuff that's basically position trajectory. So there's a huge limitations to the approaches people are taking there right now. The next layer up, the cognitive intelligence with the language models, the vision models, that's the thing that has surprised everybody, and is fortunately a rising tide that lifts all boats, because it's very general. It applies to just any robot that you're using. And it's what brings human context and reasoning into these machines to operate in more general environments. So I think the real challenge is in this physical AI, the ability to learn skills, learn them well, and then figure out how to practice them for your particular robot so they get really, really good at it.